The RBI today put out yet another advisory, a circular which said that you can deposit notes worth more than 5,000 rupees only once till the 30th of December. The RBI official circular also says that there will be at least 2 bank officials who will interrogate you on why you're depositing these notes, where this money came into your hands. Now remember, this is not what banking officials are supposed to do. This is the job of, say, an income tax officer. Now, the RBI, in an official circular put out on its website, said bank officials will interrogate you if you deposit currency more than 5,000 rupees, and you can do so only once till the 30th of December. Here's the story.
आठ नवंबर 2016 की रात्रि को 12 बजे से वर्तमान में जारी 500 रुपए और 1,000 रुपए के करेंसी नोट लीगल टेंडर नहीं रहेंगे।
On 8th of November, the government scrapped the nation's 2 highest denomination notes, wiping out nearly 85% of the cash value in the system. The surgical strike on black money led to days of long queues, several deaths and deep confusion. Confusion fueled by lack of clarity and rules. The latest changes allow only one deposit of more than 5,000 rupees in old notes in one account till the 30th of December deadline. And even this will happen in the presence of 2 bank officials and will require an explanation as to why the deposit was not made earlier. Smaller deposits in old currency notes will be accepted, but if the total deposit exceeds 5,000 rupees, depositors will be questioned.
सबकी समझ में आना चाहिए कि हम देश की अर्थव्यवस्था को अगर दुरुस्त करना चाहते हैं तो ऐसे मजबूत कदम उठाने पड़ेंगे जो दिखाई भी दे और लोगों की समझ में भी आए कि हम किसी को भी छोड़ना नहीं चाहते.
How the rules and dates have actually changed in the handling of currency and access to money since the demonetization issue was actually announced. On November the 9th, the day after this was announced, 4,000 rupees per day was the exchange of notes limit. A few days later, November the 13th, it was increased by 500 rupees to 4,500 rupees per day, which people could exchange. Then, on November the 17th, it was slashed by 2,000 rupees to only 2,500 rupees per day that people were able to exchange. And suddenly, on November the 24th, it was completely stopped. Then if you go on to the other issue, which is of withdrawal from ATMs and how much money people can access every day from an ATM, it started out on a day after the announcement with 2,000 rupees per day. It then switched on November the 13th to 2,500 rupees per day, only 500 rupees more. Finally, you've got the issue of withdrawal from your own accounts, which a day after the announcement stood at 10,000 rupees per day that each person could actually pull out from their accounts. November 13th, it went up by 14,000 rupees to 24,000 rupees per day. On November the 9th, the use of old notes, this was the norms as far as the use of old notes is concerned and how it changed. Limited use for at least 3 days when the announcement was actually made. Just a few days later, the deadline was extended till December the 15th. But then things really didn't go like that, because on December the 1st, abruptly, the government announced that the last day for the use of old notes would be December the 2nd.
The government has claimed that secrecy was essential in implementing the demonetization move. But with several flip-flops on demonetization norms, it's the common man who's been left in the lurch. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, a short while before now, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has come out with a clarification. I have here the 19th of December, Subodh, just come closer. Here is the Reserve Bank of India official circular 2016-17/189. It says here, credit in such cases shall be afforded only after questioning the tenderer on record in the presence of at least 2 officials of the bank as to why this could not be deposited earlier and receiving a satisfactory explanation. The explanation should be kept on record to facilitate an audit later. Now, this is about depositing currency more than 5,000 rupees. Tenders in excess of 5,000 rupees in a bank account will be received for credit only once during the remaining period. Now, this is the RBI's official circular. Now, Jaitley has come out with this clarification. Listen to our Finance Minister.
Till now, there were a certain category of exemptions which were existing. And therefore, those who were receiving old currency notes in the exempted areas were going and depositing them. Now all exemptions have been withdrawn. And between today, that is the 19th, and the 30th, which is the last day, anyone who has old currency notes is not allowed to trade in them. He can only go and deposit them with the bank. If they go and deposit with the bank any amount of currency, no questions are going to be asked to them. And therefore the 5,000 rupee limit does not apply to them if they go and deposit it once. But if they are going to go every day and deposit some currency, the same person, that gives rise to a suspicion as to where he is acquiring this currency from. In that event, a person may have something to answer. Therefore, everyone is advised that whatever old currency you have, please go and deposit it now, because there is no scope now for earning any old currency because all exemptions have been waived off.
First, the RBI comes out with a statement. The Finance Ministry comes in with a clarification, diluting in part what the RBI is saying. Now, this is getting really confusing, in different arms of the government speaking in different voices. Is this firefighting, which is justified and bona fide, or is this firebombing citizens, as Rahul Gandhi alleges? Joining me on the Newsroom Showdown tonight, I want to begin by introducing GVL Narasimha Rao, spokesperson for the BJP. Prasenjit Bose is a left-leaning economist. Before I go across to my two guests, I want to bring you this report on how most recently in Bulandshahr there was violence outside a bank, where two women and a group of people came to blows with a police official who had to actually fire in the air to get out. Now, these instances are being reported in bits and dribs all across Uttar Pradesh and in other parts of the country. It seems people's patience could finally be running out. Here's the story.
40 days after Prime Minister announced his big demonetization drive, cash woes continue across the country. Many banks and ATMs are out of cash. Despite facing difficulties, people are supporting Prime Minister's currency reform. However, in some parts of the country, people are angry as their patience is running out. In UP's Bulandshahr, clashes erupted between cops and customers after cops stopped them from entering the bank due to cash crunch. The situation went out of hand and the cops even had to resort to fire to bring the crowd under control. On the other hand, traders in Old Delhi's Chandni Chowk area are slowly moving towards cashless system. In spite of their business getting reduced by 50%, they are hoping that things will fall in place within a month.
Demonetization has largely affected the business of cash. People are coming, otherwise the sales have gone down by 70%. Out of that 30% sale, 95% people prefer card. And that is why the sale is less. I think the less circulation of 500 rupee note has also affected the whole trade. And if once the 500 rupee notes comes in, I think things should improve and things will be better.
मैं मानता हूँ इस बात को, काफ़ी सारे कस्टमर जो हैं वो डिजिटल यूज़ कर रहे हैं. इवन मैंने भी काफ़ी सारी शॉपिंग पीछे की है और डिजिटली मैंने ऑनलाइन पेमेंट किया है. आई थिंक इट्स अ वेरी गुड स्टेप टेकन बाय द मिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी.
Meanwhile, speaking at Business Today Mind Rush Conclave, Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant strongly advocating government's demonetization drive.
None of these economists have ever seen any case study of a country which has done such a radical and a very tough measure of demonetizing 86% of your cash economy.
After 40 days, things seems to have been better. Of course, the business still remains down, but they are not complaining. They are saying people are coming with cards. People are willing to pay through online or e-transaction. The sense on the ground among the traders is they are hopeful things will get better. All they need is a little bit of time to get online. With camera person Sanjeev, this is Parveena, Old Delhi, India Today.
So are these constant changes a firefighting attempt by a government that's on top of the situation, receptive towards feedback and acting on the basis of what they're hearing from the ground? Or does it show that there's total lack of planning, lack of coordination, which is why RBI statements are constantly having to be clarified. Doesn't the government know what the RBI is going to do? And is this creating confusion? More importantly, is it undermining people's confidence in what the government is saying? Because the government says one thing one day and says another the next. Remember, time and again, Prime Minister Modi and Arun Jaitley both said there is no need to hurry. You don't need to stand in a queue. Come any time till the 30th of December and you can deposit your old currency. Imagine for people who've been waiting, suddenly they're told that you can go and deposit more than 5,000 rupees only once, and that too you will be questioned when you do so. Joining us on the Newsroom Showdown tonight, GVL Narasimha Rao and Prasenjit Bose. I want to go across to Prasenjit first because we just heard the Finance Minister's clarification. He is essentially saying that people who are coming every day or very frequently to banks wanting to deposit more than 5,000 rupees, there is something suspicious and amiss in their actions. If you've got money, if you're a bona fide customer, you'll come once, you'll come twice. If you're coming again and again, it leads to suspicion. And therefore, if the RBI has come out with this circular, which the government wishes to implement, there's nothing wrong in it. It is just an attempt at firefighting. Do you accept that, Prasenjit?
Not at all, because I have seen the RBI circular. And the RBI circular does not talk at all about, people coming back again and again, or, it doesn't sort of specify that it is meant for people who are repeatedly coming to the bank. It is a blanket instruction saying that anybody who wants to deposit more than up to 5,000 plus amount, they can do it only once till December 30 from now on. And the Finance Minister now, late at night, is basically contradicting what the RBI circular says. And unfortunately, this has been the hallmark of the implementation of this entire demonetization exercise. It has been, there has been so many flip-flops, so many policies which are suddenly brought out of the hat, then reversed, then, you look at the limits, the cash withdrawal limits, how they have been changing. And this just shows, first of all, that this policy itself lacks economic rationale, and secondly, the government today is, there is absolutely no coordination. The right hand in the government doesn't know what the left hand is doing. And, such are the times that we are living in, and I really feel that the people of our country are suffering because of this complete
respond to this,
on the part
because if you look at this circular put out by the Reserve Bank of India, and the Reserve Bank of India is an institution that really ought to be taken seriously, it doesn't mention anywhere, GVL, that if you come again and again, it says anybody who comes can deposit more than 5,000 rupees only once. Now, in the subsequent clarification, the Finance Minister wants us to believe that only if you come again and again will you be questioned. It also says that you can deposit this money, more than 5,000 rupees, only after you've been questioned in the presence of two officials of the bank. And the explanation will be kept to record and audit at a later stage. Now, GVL, this is what the Income Tax Department does. The bank is not supposed to ask you where you're getting your money from and what's going on. What explains the RBI circular and the government's efforts now to try and dilute the RBI circular, almost make it seem as if this RBI circular is worth nothing? People are getting thoroughly confused. What's going on, GVL?
No, Rahul, the RBI, I don't speak for the RBI, but as a party spokesperson, I would say this is where different institutions are involved. RBI is a regulator, banking regulator. The government and RBI are working in tandem, and as situations develop, I think dynamically certain decisions are being made when there is any kind of information, any kind of anomaly.
I understand dynamism. One second, GVL, one second, GVL. I understand dynamism. One second, GVL. Surely when the RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, the custodian of our money says something, that statement, that note has to be worth something. The RBI puts out a circular, people look and react with shock. So far, Jaitley and the Prime Minister have constantly been saying, anytime you want, don't queue up, come till the 30th of December, you can deposit your old currency. Suddenly you insert a new caveat that you can come only once. Now people don't know what to believe, what not to believe. They are actually genuinely getting thoroughly confused, GVL.
No, but do you want clarity or you want a better you want a better regulation? Today, if a decision has been made that go and do it once, how does it really inconvenience people? I think, you see, look at the example of Venezuela, the only other country which is going for demonetization. Look at the chaos in that country. They are not even able to implement.
Could you compare India with Venezuela? Venezuela is a banana republic, a failed economy. Why would you even begin? GVL, why would you even begin to compare the Indian economy with a country which is in shambles?
I'm saying it's not. No, a country like that also is unable to do something very, very small. We are 120 crore people. We have over 2 lakh branches, 6 lakh villages. Let's just look at the magnitude and diversity of this country. And you want all the farmans to be issued on November 8th and no changes are made.
Okay, let Prasenjit Bose respond to this.
I think
your argument essentially is that a country of this size, a move of this magnitude will require changes. Don't criticize the government. They've taken a bold step. As the situation evolves, so will rules and regulations. Prasenjit, respond to the BJP.
Well, you know, first of all, the fact that no other country in the world, but for Venezuela, and they have already withdrawn it after seeing the kind of chaos that this has brought about in that country, no other country in the world is doing it right now. That itself shows that this is a bizarre policy. They should not have done it in the first place. Who asked them to do it? No, nobody else other than some RSS hacks. So the fact that they have gone ahead with this actually reflects the kind of policy muddledness that exists at the highest levels of this government. But I think the real damage that is being done, I think, is the credibility to the credibility of our monetary system. See, the trust is very essential in a monetary system. People believe, people trust in the government, people trust in the RBI. That is why people transact business through cash. Now, if the trust goes, and this is precisely the kind of things, you know, the RBI brings out a circular, the finance minister contradicts that circular within hours of RBI putting out that circular. This is a perfect recipe for a financial disaster because you are eroding the credibility and trust.
GVL Narasimha Rao, and Prasenjit argues that this is eroding the credibility of our financial institutions. The RBI puts out an official circular. The finance minister comes out and tries to dilute what that circular is saying. People at the end don't know, because you can't say, I heard Jaitley on TV say that only if I come again and again. I also heard that you will not question me. This circular very clearly says that if you deposit more than 5,000 rupees, you will be questioned by 2 officials of the bank. Why this could not be deposited earlier and can be deposited only after receiving a satisfactory explanation. This GVL is written in the official circular of the Reserve Bank of India.
I have seen that, Rahul, but certainly any kind of statements that you see from the government or RBI, particularly from the government, definitely would have happened in consultation or in discussion with the RBI. And as far as the public trust is concerned, I've just returned from 2 states, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. And I can tell you, people have trust only in this government. They know this government has the credibility, has the capacity to take a step of this kind, and life has not come to stand still anywhere. All the buses are packed, all cinema halls are packed, all people are going to their offices. You and I have not suffered a 1 rupee loss. There is a transient discomfort to the people. Certainly, I concede that. No. And there is a transient, maybe a loss of wages for a few people for a day or 2. But even they are welcoming it because they know this is a step that is in national interest. And I have not come across anybody who is criticizing it except for political reasons. And the unfortunate part is,
you've heard the contrarian positions. I will not take a side. You've heard what the naysayers are saying. You've heard what the believers are saying. We leave it to you, our viewers, to decide where you stand on this. Prasenjit, GVL, for joining me on the newsroom. Thank you very much. I want to bring you now an India Today investigation on bitcoins and how the use of bitcoins has surged after demonetization. But before that, let me just explain for a moment to you what this digital currency, cryptocurrency, really is. Now, digital currency or bitcoins was introduced in 2008-2009 as a digital wallet of sorts. Unlike other currency like the yuan or the rupee, which is governed by a central bank, the bitcoins are an online currency, therefore not governed by any one central bank. Only if a majority of the people who control that world decide something, then things change. But the price of a Bitcoin changes on a daily basis. After about 2014, when one of the exchanges went bust and people lost money, people's faith in Bitcoins went down. Now remember, Bitcoins are very popular in a country like China, where capital outflow out of China is not very easily allowed by the government. But in a country like India, Bitcoins haven't been very popular so far. But post-demonetization, people who deal in Bitcoins tell us there has been a jump. More and more queries and more people using Bitcoins. This is becoming another route for people to convert their black money into white. India Today's special investigation team brings you Cash Mafia Part 9. Here's the story.
A cyber threat to the nation's onslaught on black money. An India Today investigation has uncovered an online bazaar that's turning hoards of void cash into legal tender. The unrestricted market of Bitcoin, a digital currency notoriously used by money launderers and criminals for extortion, drugs, and even supari killings. Created in 2009 under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoins are stored in a virtual bank account beyond the sight of any regulator. Users need not give their real names for transactions, only their wallet IDs are revealed. And that's why Bitcoin has become the currency of choice for illicit deals worldwide. India Today's undercover reporters have dredged up shady agents of this international dark web operating in our country. Our investigative reporter met this Bitcoin broker at Delhi's V3S Mall to probe how banned physical currency could be exchanged with the virtual.
तो क्या बिटकॉइन के बारे में क्या जानते हैं अभी आप? सब कुछ जानते हैं, तो फिर कैसे कितना बिटकॉइन चाहिए? जितना भी हो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, आना है 1000 और 500 हो जाएगा। और बोलो।
So far, you heard this Bitcoin middleman promising to convert black money into white through cyber currency. Now listen into his plans for the interchange.
ज़ेप्टे प्लस 20%, जो ज़ेप्टे का रेट चल रहा होगा प्लस 20%। सर आपको ही पता 30, 35, 40 पे ना लोग कराने को पागल हैं। पैसे क्या समझ करते हैं? 64 पैसे दिए चल रहा है। 75,000 रुपये मान के चलो। तो वो अच्छा है तो मैं तो आप जितना कहेंगे उतना मिल जाएगा। आप 1000 बोलोगे तो 1000 भी मिल जाएगा। पेमेंट नहीं तो होगी थोड़ी 5 लाख 10 लाख इस तरीके से करना तो 1000 भी मिल जाएगा।
Vijay has offered to trade black money on Zepay, an exchange for selling and buying bitcoins in India. But beware. The Reserve Bank of India has already warned traders of virtual currencies against legal and financial risks. In 2013, the central bank cautioned such transactions may violate money laundering and terror funding laws. But doubts of this dark network were found to be functioning with impunity to cash in on the scramble for securing the tax loot. This man identified himself as Rahul. He's speaking on the phone, apparently with another middleman, to inquire about our undercover reporter's fictitious investment in bitcoins.
अरे मुझे बता 1000 रुपये के नोट ले लोगे?
1000 के नोट कितने? 50 लाख। भैया ये इसके अंदर अपना 1000 रुपये का नोट चल जाएगा? भैया है ना? अच्छा ठीक है, 50 के आसपास है। ठीक है, कब भैया? ठीक है, बताता हूँ मैं 10 मिनट कॉल कर.
After the call, the broker sounds confident and asks our investigative journalist to bring the cash in.
पेमेंट कैसे सिक्योर होगी? कोई पुलिस का झंझट तो नहीं, कोई ऐसा पेमेंट कैसे करोगे? हमारा तो भैया रोज का ही काम हो रहा है, आपके साथ तो ऐसा नहीं कि पहली बार काम कर रहा हूँ. मैं आपको वो बता दूंगा, जगह बता दूंगा, आप वहाँ पेमेंट मंगवा लो. कहाँ? मॉडल टाउन होगा, जनकपुरी होगा.
सेफ एंड सिक्योर है ना?
आपके वॉलेट में पड़ा हुआ है, आपने कहा
किसी को पता ही नहीं है आपकी आइडेंटिटी.
मतलब इसको 2 महीने 4 महीने बाद वापस निकालना चाहे निकाल सकते हैं.
सबसे ज्यादा कौन खरीद रहा है आपके यहाँ? आपसे
हर तरीके के बनते हैं, नाम तो कोई किसी का डिस्क्लोज नहीं करता. नहीं, हर तरीके.
You've heard him admitting how he's helping all kinds of black marketeers to store their dirty wealth in digital currency. This underhanded trade appears to have thrived after the November 8th demonetization move. In Faridabad's Sector 29 market, this man offers to swap high volumes of revoked currency with bitcoins.
आप कितना दे सकते हो? मैं बोल रहा हूँ कितना दे सकते हो? आपके एक ही जट में सारा भी काम करवा सकता हूँ. हमारे इस लेवल पे हम किसी नीचे लेवल पे बात ही नहीं कर रहे. ये भी बात सुन लो, बिल्कुल जो ऑल इंडिया में जो कंपनी के टॉप है, अब बोलो उसके साथ लिंक है. बोलो वो तो एक बिटकॉइन के लिए तो मैं समझ गया. आप अगर 15 BTC का करोगे ना, 2-3 दिन आना जाने में लगेगा. आपको क्या
15 BTC कितने का पड़ जाएगा?
15 BTC का आपको 9,60,000 में
बस. ठीक है, 10-10 पेटी हो जाएगा.
ये आपके लिए सिक्योर, सेफ एंड सिक्योर.
लेकिन 1,000 के नोट रहेंगे.
तभी तो 1,000 का नोट बंद हो गया अभी मार्केट में. एक बार सुन लो, पहली बात तो ये
बैंक में करा लेना.
ये बल्क में वो हम करवाएंगे, कैसे भी करवाएंगे.
For tax frauds, an unregulated virtual currency like Bitcoin has emerged as a sanctuary for their unaccounted wealth. It's yet to be seen how the government tackles this escape route into the digital world. With Shripal Shaktawat and Nitin Jain in India's national capital, this is India Today's special investigation team.
The Modi government has been coming down hard on every aspect that India Today has been bringing out, targeting the people who are trying to take advantage of the demonetization move. The Bitcoin operators and brokers need to be their next target. This is a story we'll follow up on.